Fargard 22. Angra Mainyu creates 99,999 diseases. Ahura Mazda applies for healing to the holy word and to Airyaman. Airyaman is an old Indo-Iranian entity. In the Rig Veda, he is an Aditya, Airyaman, who is seldom invoked alone, but nearly always in company with Mitra and Varuna. His name, like Mitra's, means the friend, and like Mitra, he is an entity of heavenly light, kind, beneficent, and helpful to man. In the Avesta, the word Airyaman has the same meaning as in the Veda, but the character of the entity is more fully developed, and whereas he has no distinct personality in the Vedic hymns, he appears here in the character as a healing entity, which is derived in a very natural manner from his primitive and general character. Airyaman abides in a mansion called the Mansion of Airyaman. Airyamno Namanim, which is the same as the bright mansion in which Mitra, Airyaman, Varuna abide, according to the Vedas. That is to say, the sky and the latter Parsisim Airyaman appears as the Ized of heaven. Aspen de Arge. And remember, in the Islamic theology, there's the mention of the Izat. This Fargard is unfinished, or more correctly, the end of it is understood. Airyaman, called out from his mansion, comes and digs 9 furrows. The holes. Well, furrows like the little dips that you dig to plant in. It is no doubt in order to perform the Barashnum, or some ceremony of that kind, in order to cleanse the unclean, that is to say, the sick man, and restore him to health by the virtue of the Nirang and of the holy word. The Fargard ends, and therefore with spells against sickness and against death. And part 1 compromises (1 through 6), part 2, 7 through 12, part 3, 13 through 18, part 4, 19 through 25. And I'm going to give the other numbers right. 1. Ahura Mazda spake unto Spitama Zarathustra, saying, I, Ahura Mazda, the maker of all good things, when I made this mansion, the beautiful, the shining, seen afar, there may I go up, there may I pass. 5. Then the ruffian looked at me, the ruffian, Angra Mainyu, the deadly, wrought by his witchcraft 9 diseases, and 90, and 900, and 9,000, and 9 times 10,000 diseases. So mayest thou heal me, O Matra Spenta, thou most glorious one. See, some languages you've got like 10, 100, the powers of 10. but you have to, if you, that would be multiplied by another number, which you say, which, you know, in other traditions, people said that creates that creates an issue for some people with some traditions, like, well, they forgot the word 10. So no, look at the details. I mean, yeah, from that one guy. So don't make the anyways. That's something I refute elsewhere. But 8. Unto thee will I give in return 1,000 fleet, swift running steeds. Offer them up as a sacrifice of the good Sa'aka, made by Mazda and holy. Unto thee will I give in return 1,000 fleet, high-humped camels. Offer them up as a sacrifice of the good Sa'aka, made by Mazda and holy. 12. Unto thee will I give in return 1,000 brown oxen that do not push. Offer them up as a sacrifice unto the good Sa'aka, made by Mazda and holy. Unto thee will I give in return 1,000 young of all species of small cattle. Offer them up as a sacrifice unto Sa'aka, made by Mazda and holy. And perhaps it's with that Sa'aka takes part in that. 16. And I will bless thee with fair, holy blessing spell, the friendly, holy blessing spell that makes the enemy swell to fullness, and the full to overflowing, that comes to help him who is sickening, and makes the sick man sound again. 20. Matra Spenta, the all-glorious, replied unto me, how shall I heal thee? How shall I drive away from thee those 9 diseases, and those 90, and those 900, those 9,000, and those 9 times 10,000 diseases? And I'm not saying you don't involve medicine or anything like that, because you do. But you know, the last chapter tell us about medicine, or was that the one before that? The Garatman is paradise. And the ruffian looked at me and cast on me the evil eye. It was by casting the evil eye on the good creatures of Ormazd that Airyaman corrupted them. And then we have, you know, the good word, and I offer as a sacrifice. And Sa'aka is as an incarnation of wheel, you could say. You know, to bring about health. And the oxen that do not push regards, you know, not having a blemish, perhaps. 2 is going to be called here 22, 23, 24, 25. I mean, 22, 23, 24, 26, 30, and 34. 22. The maker, Ahura Mazda, called for Nairyo Sangha, go thou, Nairyo Sangha, the herald, and drive towards the mansion of Airyaman, and speak thus unto him. 23. Thus speaks Ahura Mazda, the Holy One, unto thee. I, Ahura Mazda, the maker of all good things, when I made this mansion, the beautiful, the shining, seen afar, there may I go up, there may I pass. 24. Then the ruffian looked at me. The ruffian, Angra Mainyu, the deadly, wrought by his witchcraft 9 diseases, and 90, and 900, and 9,000, and 9 times 10,000 diseases. So mayest thou heal me, O Airyaman, the much desired. 26. Unto thee will I give in return 1,000 fleet, swift-running steeds. Offer them up as a sacrifice unto the good Sa'aka, made by Mazda and holy. Unto thee will I give in return 1,000 fleet, high-humped camels. Offer them up as a sacrifice unto the good Sa'aka, made by Mazda and holy. 30. Unto thee will I give in return 1,000 brown oxen that do not push. Offer them up as a sacrifice unto the good Sa'aka, made by Mazda and holy. Unto thee will I give in return 1,000 young of all species of small cattle. Offer them up unto the good Sa'aka, made by Mazda and holy. 34. And I will bless thee with the fair, holy blessing spell, the friendly, holy blessing spell that makes the empty swell to fullness, and the full to overflowing, that comes to help him who is sickening, and makes the sick man sound again. And in verse 7, which is called 22, Na'erio Sangha, we have this note. The messenger of Ahura Mazda, he was originally the same as the Vedic Nara Sansa, a name of Agni, chiefly as the sacrificial fire. It's interesting, in Afghanistan, there's at least before the war of terrorism, you had 2 places in Afghanistan that were Quran being revealed places where, at that time, both the people that we would call Hindus came in and worshipped the fire, and the people call the Mazda Yasnahes are the Kanon Zardosht is I guess the term nowadays. The community of Zarathustra worshipped with the fire. But that is the messenger that goes from heavens to the earth and from the earth to heavens. Mazdaism still knows that he is a form of Atar, fire. 3 compromises what we're going to call 38. 38 will also be called 14. 14 and 13 will be called 38. 39, 40, 44, and 48. 38. In obedience to Ahura's words, he went. Na'erio Sangha, the herald, he drove towards the mansion of Airyaman. He spake unto Airyaman, saying, 38. Thus speaks Ahura Mazda, the Holy One, unto thee, I, Ahura Mazda, the maker of all good things, when I made this mansion, the beautiful, the shining, seen afar off. There may I go up, there may I pass. 39. Then the ruffian looked at me, the ruffian Angra Mainyu, the deadly, wrought by his witchcraft 9 diseases, and 90, and 900, and 9,000, and 9 times 10,000 diseases. So mayest thou heal me, O Airyaman, the much desired. 40. Unto thee will I give in return 1,000 fleet, swift-running steeds. Offer them up as a sacrifice to the good Sa'aka, made by Mazda and holy. Unto thee will I give in return 1,000 fleet, high-humped camels. Offer them up as a sacrifice unto the good Sa'aka, made by Mazda and holy. 44. Unto thee will I give in return 1,000 brown oxen that do not push. Offer them up as a sacrifice unto the good Sa'aka, made by Mazda and holy. Unto thee will I give in return 1,000 young of all the species of small cattle. Offer them up as a sacrifice unto the good Sa'aka, made by Mazda and holy. 48. And I will bless thee with the fair, holy blessing spell, the friendly, holy blessing spell, that makes the empty swell to fullness, and the full to overflowing, that comes to help him who is sickening, and makes the sick man sound again. And notice how the sacrifices go through creation, that creation uses the sacrifices. It's not that God has some need and we're fulfilling some need of God or something. Part 4 compromises what we're going to call 52, 54, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 52. Quickly was it done, nor was it long. Eagerly set off the much desired Airyaman towards the mountains of the holy questions, towards the forests of the holy questions. 54. 9 stallions brought he with him, the much desired Airyaman. 9 camels brought he with him, the much desired Airyaman. 9 bulls brought he with him, the much desired Airyaman. 9 head of small cattle brought he with him, the much desired Airyaman. He brought with him the 9 twigs. He drew along 9 furrows. 21. I drive away Ish-ir-el. I drive away. Oh, exclamation mark, sorry. I drive away Ish-ir-re. I drive away Agu-ere. I drive away Agra. I drive away Ugra. I drive away sickness. I drive away death. I drive away pain and fever. I drive away Sarana. I drive away Sarastya. I drive away Azana. I drive away Azava. I drive away Kuruga. I drive away Azevaka. I drive away Duruka. I drive away Astairya. I drive away the disease, rottenness, and infection which Angra Mainyu has created by his witchcraft against the bodies of mortals. 22. I drive away all manner of diseases and deaths, all the Yatus and Pa-Ivirkas, and all the wicked Ga-Ines. 23. May the much-desired Airyaman come here for the men and women of Zarathustra to rejoice, for the faithful to rejoice, with the desirable reward that is won by means of the law, and with that boon for holiness that is vouchsafed by Ahura. 24. May the much-desired Airyaman smite all manner of diseases and deaths, all the Yatus and Pa-Irikas, and all the wicked Gaenis. 25. Yatha ahu va'erio. The will of the Lord is the law of holiness. The riches of Bahu Mano shall be given to him who works in this world for Mazda, and wields according to the will of Ahura the power he gave him to relieve the poor. Kamna Mazda, whom hast thou placed to protect me, O Mazda, while the hate of the fiend is grasping me? Whom but thy Atar and Akumano, by whose work the holy world goes on, reveal to me the rules of thy law. Ke veretremga, who is he who will smite the fiend in order to maintain thy ordinances? Teach me clearly thy rules for this world and for the next, that Sra'asha may come with Bahumano and help whomsoever thou pleasest. Keep us from our hater, O Mazda, and Armaete Spenta. Perish, O fiendish Droog. Perish, O brood of the fiend. Perish, O world of the fiend. Perish away, O Droog. Perish away to the regions of the north, never more to give unto death the living world of the Holy Spirit. And so, according to Aspen de Arge, he brought with him the strength of 9 stallions. And remember, unlike some of the Indo-Aryan cultures, anything labeled as Zoroastrianism never took part in the bestiality and some of the other things that were done with that. There's the 9 knotted stick, the twigs being referred to perform the Barishnum, the great service of the Nirangdin, through which all evil, moral and natural, including evil passions, diseases, and death, will be removed. And there's a mountain where the holy conversations between Ormazd and Zarathustra took place. And sometimes pilgrimages like this are part of the path, sometimes they're not. So let's look at what the actual path teaches, not just the scholars. But visitations for historical reference are to, see the context. Can be a very important thing to take part in.